And for any Zerg who comes up against a Protoss player in this region, this man has got his work cut out for him. It's the red Zerg, GogojOey.
His opponent in the bottom left-hand side, he is an illustrious cheeser, a man inspired by Haas, and even outdoing him at his own game sometimes. This is ButAlways.
Well, third hatch going over towards the third location. Where's the Probat?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not sure if just expecting to be blocked or wanting to freak out his opponent. As ButAlways will come in and seeing no hatchery, go into the main base to check what's going on. Sees the gas and pool though, so should assume that all's normal.
Do have the gate into Nexus from ButAlways. You're talking about a cheeser inspired by Haas. I was listening to Rex in his interview after he'd be expected, and he said that he felt like all three of the Protoss players are pretty different. Is there something that different about ButAlways' style in comparison to Haas?
Yeah, ButAlways will cancel, like in PvP especially, because we cast him the most in that. We've seen him cancel like 4 different tech trees that get scouted. I'd be like, yeah. And then it's like, so he starts with DTs, he gets scouted, he cancels it, makes like, double Stargate or something ridiculous instead. That gets scouted, he cancels them both or doesn't build them, goes back to DTs. Like, it's just, it's insane, man. It's insane. He's just, he's crazy like that. And like, when the Void Ray first got buffed, he was just like in this matchup, like he was actually just maxing out like Void Ray Colossus, like weird styles of play that other people weren't doing. So I haven't really watched him play much PvZ in a little while, and I feel like ButAlways is always looking for new tricks to surprise his opponent. So I don't expect it to be something where he just does the same thing season after season. I feel like he's probably got a bit of a high turnover just because the nature of his style is not perfect execution. It's very, very good micro, but it's really just about catching his opponent off guard. So he's always got to find the surprise factor.
So far, nothing out of the ordinary. Adepts rolling in, looking to pick off a couple of drones mispositioned. Stargate follow-up. And it's not an Oracle first, but a Void Ray first. Looking to press back any pesky overlords trying to find some information and limit info in that regard. Early on, saw a similar thing from Demi against T-Bolt, where after pushing away all those overlords, Mance just sent it with, I think it was like 6 to 8 gates of charge lots, and just won the game instantly. So would be keen to see that kind of a follow-up once again. Definitely would speed up the night a little bit more.
Very quick 4 gases here for ButAlways, like incredibly quick. And straight to fleet beacon. Oh, is this the Tempest or the Carrier is my only question. And I don't think we've seen a second Stargate just yet. So it might just be a quick couple of Tempests. So because there's so much dead space behind the base on this map, you can actually get Tempest behind the mineral line and harass the workers. So if he can rush a Tempest or maybe 2 or 3 across the map, that could be really good. And with GogojOey taking the low ground third, you can actually get a Tempest on the right side of that base as well and pick off the workers from the dead space over there, yeah. So that's an option. Could just be straight carriers. Zest was doing this for like 2 months straight. Parting was doing it a lot. We didn't ever really see it work in GSL, but there was a few days in the online cups where it did really well and the Zergs were at a bit of a loss before they all figured it out. And indeed, it is that carrier build.
All right, well, info not obtained for GogojOey about the unorthodox approach used by his opponent. And he's actually losing a lot of overlords here, getting himself quite supply blocked, having to pump 6 overlords in towards a production tab for the time being. There, well, that overlord has made it in. That is a hero overlord right there, seeing everything that's going on. 2 carriers in production, fleet beacon in production. So GogojOey, he's got all the information that he needs. So what do then pick?
Cancel the Rotron, go down with the Evo chamber. So I think Joey might be thinking about going like, Hydra play? No, just melee and then the Spire. Okay. So yeah, I think Corruptors is a great counter to the carriers. The thing is, you can defend them with just queens. I've often argued that there's two of the best plays against this. One is to just go 3 bases of workers, Queen Hydra, Nidus across the map, and kill them. But because people are building so much static defense these days, and it can be hard to get a Nidus up, that's a little bit of a gamble. The other way to deal with this is, and that's really weird, is he going to build shield batteries there or just warp into depths or something? Well, that's bizarre, the pylon on the front. But yeah, the other way of trying to take it out is just go Hydra, Lurker, Viper. Just defend the first 2 to 4 carriers of like 10 queens, a spore or 2 if you need. What? How does, like, what's that even for? Is that to heal the interceptors when they come back to the carrier?
It's hidden in the ferns really nicely, though. That's quite satisfying.
Between 2 ferns, yeah.
There you go. It just needs to roll on in here.
The Galifianakis build order? Yeah, I don't know. What even is this?
You just coin a term live on air.
All right, gets a queen. Not a bad start. You don't really want to focus these units down, though, because you got to kill the interceptors, mate.
That's a nicely healed up Void Ray, though. I will say that, Pig. He's done an excellent job, and he stopped pumping carriers. Now he's going into the Void Rays, adding himself that 3rd Nexus and getting himself 3rd base saturated. And he's pumping 3 Void Rays out at a time. 3 sides to a triangle, something about Illuminati going on, but a lot of Corruptors.
Okay, dude. I mean, Void Rays are really good versus Corruptors. So that's the one problem with going Corruptors against this is, you know, he kind of knows you're doing this. He's got a cannon out there and battery. This is actually going to be kind of tough to deal with. So I actually think GogojOey's best move here is to grab your Corruptors, go around and cut off the rally. I think you've got to, you know, cut off that rally for it there. Oh my god, dude. This is stuff you see in like Gold League, is people building cannons and batteries outside people's base. This is so sick. ButAlways is like, you know what, with this build, why not? And he keeps launching the interceptors on the rocks to get them all out, because otherwise they launch slowly, and then transfers it to attacking the enemy units. But, ooh, nice snipe. 1 Void Ray goes down, and those Corruptors have great base armor. Another Void Ray almost falls. Oh, it does get back to the shield batteries. Corruptor goes down there, as does a Queen. Lots of interceptors falling, though. Oh, man, the cannons create a lovely safe zone to fall back on. But yeah, those Corruptors have got to go around. I really think send the Corruptors around. If you can pick off just 1 or 2 of the rallying Void Rays, you're really going to mess this up for ButAlways.
I feel like we're watching a mini version of game number 2 of the last series. Just like, don't go full ham on the static defense, but Corruptors against carriers, and then just a couple of static defense. Instead of 100, we're seeing like 10 each. Just on a smaller scale, smaller economies.
Only 59 probes for ButAlways still. So yeah, this is like, he's basically just transferred workers from the main to the 3rd, and that's it. So it's going to stay on this minimal economy and just try to spiral this position out of control and bait GogojOey into an awkward fight. Now, GogojOey has an insane queen count, and with the transfuse, the range on those queens, that's really effective, but you've got to be careful with those Corruptors. Yeah, you don't want to be on the edge like this. So I don't know why GogojOey's kind of going right to the edge and fighting him there. I feel like you could sit a little bit further back, because otherwise you get these little individual queens sticking out at the front that are a bit too exposed. Now, GogojOey is building a lot of drones, so he can kind of mass spores here. I do like the attempt to do a little bit of a run by, but I'm still thinking the fact that these Void Rays are just rallying across the map is horrendous. There's no parasitic bomb, there's no hive, there's no vipers, there's no infestors out. You can beat the Void Rays when they don't have prismatic alignment, but when they've got cannons, batteries, and prismatic alignment available, I worry that this is eventually going to break through.
He's running out of HP on that rock to be able to charge up the interceptors. He's got a couple of sentries below as well. Is that for the shield?
Yeah, I think that's just for Guardian Shield. Maybe to force field back the Queens as well.
4 sentries. That's a lot of gas going into sentries, as opposed to like getting himself some more Archons or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, good Ling denial on the attempt for a 4th base. That's fantastic for GogojOey. And you know what? I'm there doubting. He's up to 80 workers. He's got his +2 flyer attack started. He's got +2 range on the way. He's not got any armor upgrades, which I do think is a mistake here, like, because his army is so fragile to +2 carriers. I would really prioritize getting a carapace for both the air and ground in this situation.
This is cursed, dude. We're cursed. I thought me and Light in ANZ Chance was the cursed combo, but finally seeing more of an engagement. More Corruptors being picked off. Not a whole lot of energy on a lot of these Queens, but the Transfusers trying to keep them healthy. I thought the Corruptors were going to be the ones to snipe the Protoss units, but it kind of feels like the opposite, the way I'm seeing these Corruptors pop one at a time to the Void Rays.
If you get Vipers out, you just hard counter this army. So I know it's far away, that tech, which is why Joey hasn't gone there. It seems like it's too far away, like he's not going to get there in time. But there's actually no reason for him to be out here fighting in range of the cannons and batteries like this. So I really think he needs to be pulling back. Notice ButAlways only sets off Prismatic Alignment on some Void Rays at a time. And I really think keep building Spores, add the Infestation. If you can get that Hive up, I don't think that ButAlways can kill you. Now, don't get me wrong, GogojOey is still doing quite fine. But if he commits to an all-out fight, I worry that this is just going to be kind of like suddenly tons of units dial at once. Carapace is starting for the Queens. Bailing Nest is on the way.
Another great cancel on the 4th base there, just with a couple of Lings. Yeah, absolutely love to see it. Again, engagement over the top of the cannons and the batteries. I'm not really sure that like the Zerg player is the one that needs to be fighting here. I feel like he's in a pretty good position, denying this 4th time and time again. All of the Queens going down. That's going to be no more Transfusers, and there's still quite a lot of Void Rays here, but as the alignment runs out,
there's no interceptors left, so it's just the Void Rays. Prismatic Alignment is mostly gone, but yeah, I think he's fought a bit too close here for a bit too long. The Ling's kind of F2 back in. You can see a little bit of panic from GogojOey, who's still massing Queens, but he doesn't have any big playmaker. Queens are good in the you know, away from cannon battery, but they're not good near cannon battery, and that's the problem. I think, yeah, like you said, just fall back a little bit here. He's not going to be able to get cannons and batteries onto the high ground. But still no Hive, still no Vipers. I mean, Vipers would be such a game changer. And looking at how well GogojOey is holding his ground, he's not making inroads, but he's holding his ground. I mean, he's bought more than enough time to squeeze a Hive out. Think about how expensive a Hive is. Infestation Pit, 1 Corruptor. Hive, a 2nd Corruptor. Oh, he could be easily 2 Corruptors less, but he's got to get that next tech. What ButAlways is doing is a play that has no longevity. There's no Storm. There's no Disruptors. But why does Joey keep attacking into it? That's the problem.
Another engagement in. You do see that alignment getting popped. A lot of Queens going down. Not too much energy for the Transfuse, but there's still a lot of Corruptors just diving in, picking off one Void Ray at a time. It's really just pure Void Ray up against Queens, and it does seem like ButAlways feels confident enough to push in here and just take this fight. He's going to fall back to his batteries, and in the meanwhile, bit of a game changer. Never mind, I thought he did have that 4th up, but again, the Lings have denied it for what, like the 3rd, 4th time this game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still just Mass Queen Corruptor. Look, Void Rays are the counter to Corruptors. This is not gonna, I don't know if this works in the long run. He's got a big income advantage. Is that enough to make up for how good Void Rays are? The Void Ray count, what is that Void Ray count? I feel like if ButAlways maxes, he can't lose a fight. I don't know. Gets a lot of Corruptors there, but oh, we'll see how much damage he can do. The Corruptors cannot engage into that Prismatic Alignment for long. The Spores are getting busted through here. Now, the Sentries are actually coming forward and doing really well. The Corruptors starting to take out some Void Rays. That's really nice for Joey. But whenever those Void Rays turn and fire, the Corruptors disappear mighty fast.
Yep, all of the batteries working overtime, but the majority of them out of energy. I think Joey might have overextended a little bit there. It's really hard to tell who's coming out on top of this, but I feel like GogojOey is just utilizing his income advantage. Even though he's not trading it efficiently or effectively, he's just got more bases and more income, and that might end up being enough.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, we're stuck on this composition. That was a +3 attack fight for the air, by the way, versus just +2 for Joey. So this is, Joey's now got +1 armor on his air units. He's got +2/1 on his Queens as well. Lings will be really good versus Sentries in the open. But he's lost all of his Spores now. So even though the supply looks like it's back to being okay for Joey, kinda nah. The Lings are going to go across and deny the 4th, which still has nothing attempting to defend it. I mean, ButAlways is an absolute mad lad. The Lings keep getting F2'd back. This is a real problem Joey has, is the F2s are a bit too much. And you could see the Lings kind of got a little bit away, and then they got pulled back, and that 4th gets up. I mean, ButAlways' income is dropping right now. He's running out of places to mine from. So if he gets that 4th up, it keeps his income stable and he can keep doing this for a while longer. But this is the thing Joey's been doing so well all game. He now sends his lings across. Is it a bit too late? He might have let it get up.
I don't think he's made it over there in time. Again, what is that? The 5th, 6th time. Couple of zealots getting warped, or adepts getting warped in there.
Those cannons can bear. Oh, recall! Recall! He recalls.
Okay.
You know what's funny? Now Joey can bust the cannons and batteries. Wait, none of his units shoot down.
Oh.
What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do, Filsky?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's a rhetorical question, Pig, because I know that you don't know. I don't know the answer either.
I'm like, I don't know what I'd do at this point, man. Except build a bloody hive. He needs Vipers. Please go Vipers, Joey. Like, I don't want to see you lose to just Void Rays and Sentries 20 minutes into the game, but if ButAlways maxes out, I don't know. Queens are good. Are they that good? Maybe. We're going to find out. This game will teach us how good is the Queen, because that's really what we're going to be learning here.
I like that little, dead space over on the ledge that Joey's getting the Corruptors on top of. That seems like the sweet spot to be able to shoot one Void Ray and then just get the hell out of dodge. He's going roaches. Couple of roaches. Can potentially get something done. I don't know what.
4th base is up, so I guess that income, it's a 3 base income for ButAlways. He's adding air upgrades now. He's still making Void Rays and
Ravagers. Siege some of the batteries.
very supply intensive. Very cute, but very supply intensive. Infestation pit's about to finish. I mean, show me that hive, baby. I think 2 Void Rays though. Yeah, easy D. Oh, Corruptors in the open. Corruptors in the open. Do they find the Void Rays? Oh, the Void Rays came back. They saw the Corruptors and they went back to the static defense.
Yeah, the Queens are getting more energy in the meanwhile.
Oh my gosh. The Void Rays can one-shot Queens. How often do you see that?
Oh, Hive. It's your favorite pick. You've been asking for it. Those are nice pick-offs as well. 2 extra Void Rays. Joey's going to take everything he can get. Look, he loses that base, and I guess the saddest thing about that is losing the gas income.
Good Corruptor micro for Joey this whole game. I gotta say, good transfuses, good pullbacks from the prismatic alignment. Trying to go in there, baits it out, pulls back, and he's just gonna try to keep re-engaging and try to catch him. When that prismatic alignment's not there, Biles break down the force fields. Ooh, he cancelled prismatic alignment to pull back, but good escape. Flux Veins Void Rays so fast. Now, +2 armors on the way, so the upgrades are a little bit more constant here from Joey, but ButAlways is maxed, and he has a bigger army supply. So that is so scary, because if we just look at the unit count, I mean, Corruptors are cheaper on supply than Void Rays, but just remember that 1 Void Ray can literally squish a Corruptor between each of its biceps. So without even flinching, like zero hesitation. Void Rays are strong. Corruptors are very weak against them, when that prismatic alignment's on especially. Now, in these little in and out fights, the Corruptors do okay, but they can't stand their ground. I don't think the Corruptors can stand against that. The Biles, so good for breaking the Void Rays attacks though.
Yeah, just zoning him, forcing him back a little bit more. Again, a couple more Void Rays getting picked off. That is extra Nexus going down though for ButAlways, and that's with the rich gas base, isn't it? So that'll definitely help him out in that regard. Little bit of extra income. Joey, he's got a bottom right base, but I don't think he's got anything going down there. No real mining, and he's still sitting like 65 drones. You know, there was a point in this game where he's up at 80 and he was spamming the static defense, but that's really slowed down now.
This is actually really impressive that Joey's microing this so well for such a long time. I mean, I was like, dude, this seems like a terrible idea, and he's actually playing it out really well. It's just now that these extra bases keep getting taken, it's like the clamp that he had on ButAlways economy is no longer there. Vipers. Hive's done. Where are the Vipers? Has he got any out?
Let's see any. Oh, no, a couple. 2 or 3. Floating around there in the Corruptors.
Parasitic Bomb will change everything. Like, just 1, 2 Parasitic Bombs and those Void Rays, like, there really needs to be a Twilight Council on the way for ButAlways. If he can get out a few High Templar, even just for feedback, they don't even need Storm. Like, it'll be a game changer as well. ButAlways is just going Sentry Void Ray right now, and I really do think, yeah, those Vipers, if they can land their spells, they're consuming off the hatchery right now. Oh, the Void Ray run by. Oh my god, ButAlways. Oh, he doesn't get the hatch.
There you go, just 2 spores is enough to whet his appetite for the time being. In the meanwhile, though, Joey, he's actually mining from bottom right, and he's getting that rich gas base going up. So, really diversifying his sources of income. See how long he's able to hold on to that.
Oh, watch out for... Yeah, transfuses on the Vipers. Oh, this is hilarious. This is the greatest. We're seeing more and more people filter into the chat. This is like kind of that thing where like the game becomes an event in of itself, like those just ridiculous swarmers games. People are like, what is this? Is that... Yes, guys, for anyone just tuning in, Cannon Battery was built outside when the first 2 carriers arrived, which were like the 3rd and 4th army units that he built.
That cannon battery
nice
that cannon battery's been there for like 10 minutes, hasn't it?
Oh, the Queens actually do okay here. Void Ray is just so bad versus Queens. The Queens actually take an okay trade.
That's great focus fire, great transfuse. He's out of energy now, but that was a good snipe on the Nexus over there from the Corruptors.
Force field traps a bunch of the Queens there and actually does some damn good damage. Oh, that's actually pretty nice. Gets a few of those down, but look at all the tech for Joey now. Joey's, I guess he doesn't have that much bank, so he's still got to be a little careful. But I don't know. He's got 2/2 +3 air attack on the way. Infestor energy. ButAlways is making a Templar Archives though, so that's the scariest thing for ButAlways is like, for GogojOey, sorry, is ButAlways is like, he's also building the game-changing spellcaster. A couple storms on those Corruptors is insane.
Oh my god. Alright. Ling run by. Gonna try to take out one of these bases in towards the top left. There's pretty decent static defense over here though.
Oh, the cannon batteries get a hold on for a little while there. The Queen's trying to defend the Sentry Stalker army. Battery overcharge comes down. The Ling Roach. Oh, yeah, you got to go for the batteries first, don't you? Ends up not really cleaning much up, just a battery and damaging a few cannons. Doesn't do too much. Greatest Fire's on the way to help, of course, push back the cannon battery a little bit. But Joey is actually down in supply right now and only on 44 drones. Oof. He's just built a lot of spines and spores everywhere. He needs to build a lot of drones to replace those. Otherwise, it's going to be one sick maxed out army and nothing else. And actually, it seems like that's Joey's strategy here. So he's going to use Lings and Ultras to try to clear these bases in the top left. He knows that ButAlways isn't super rich either. But but neither of them is. So the next fight, the efficiency is going to decide this game. Who can be more efficient, trapped in a low economy split map war? GogojOey has the right side of the map, ButAlways has taken the left side. Mass Void Ray with High Templar and now Storm coming in against Mass Queen, Corruptor Viper, Ultras coming in on the ground to support.
I feel like I'm a guest casting a meme replay on your Twitch channel right now, Pig.
Do you want to name a unit? You can pick a unit and you can name it.
I'm going to call the High Templar on the right Steve.
All right, Steve the Templar.
Yep.
We'll find out if he's a Stormy boy or a feedback boy. The Ultra Ling on the right. I like the Ultra. That's Barry the Ultralisk. So that's my hero unit. I get to cheer for him. You get to cheer for the High Templar, okay?
Okay. Barry's gone walkabout, mate. He's off. Gonna try and get rid of that base. Nice little deny once again from Joey. Getting stuff done. Getting himself a lot of upgrades.
Oh.
Kind of troublesome, these run-bys.
Yeah. They were what really was doing so well for Joey earlier in the game, right? It was so unfortunate that he F2'd the Lings back, right? And let the 4th get up. Because once that was up, you've seen ButAlways be much more quick on the cannon battery. Storm and Transfuse cancelling each other out a little bit there. Love to surround those High Templar with these Zerglings, which is why I think they came home. Lots of Infestors on the way now as well. I mean, the air upgrades are really rounding out for both sides. And, oh, Void Ray run by on the bottom of the map. Sneaky, sneaky.
Should be able to zap that base. That's
yeah,
the thing, there really hasn't
been
down. Like much of a replenishment of static from GogojOey as opposed to what we saw from Rex earlier. Whereas ButAlways, he's been adding a lot of static defense around the place. You know, he's keeping his bases safe for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, this is actually looking really like he's getting a lot of efficiency. The Zergling run by though does get in. You can deny the Cybercore if he wants. That's an important upgrade there. He's going to start damaging the production a little bit, trying to depower some of this. So not bad. Going to start to get in and try to hit the Stargates as well. Still a mostly Void Ray composition for ButAlways. Every upgrade matters, and Void Rays are going to come back to defend. Depowers some of the buildings, but in the end just buys a little bit of time. Zerglings, though, cheap units in this situation. Kind of wishes he had Burrow there.
3 more Stargates going up in an alternate location, just in case. Wants to have multiple sources of the production to replenish that air army if necessary.
So, in this scenario, who wins and how? Well, apparently you steal the Archon, the links around, and you kill all the high tower. Oh my gosh.
That was so big. He's got those storms left. That was actually big brain. Steve's turn.
That was great.
He was an inside agent.
Dude, this is sick. Tempests are coming out. Okay, so ButAlways says, how do I chip away? We use Tempest. And the thing is, ButAlways is actually taking more of the map. He's securing more of the map. In that regard, he's winning this game. Is that going to be enough? Not quite sure. Another Ling run by. Joey not really microing these, unfortunately. I'd love to see him focus that Cybercore. That Cybercore gets real low, but damn, that's a lot of Void Rays, and they do manage to save the +3 armor upgrade there. Oh, you know what? I mean, ButAlways, he's sucking up the resources on this map, and Joey's kind of pinned back. He's waiting. He's defending well, but it feels like he's almost just waiting for ButAlways to step up and make a mistake. And ButAlways is actually the one who's kind of slowing things down at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Joey's only got 40 workers right now. Doesn't really have a whole lot of income coming in. No bank to be able to replenish any of these units. He's trying to add a couple more hatches, trying to find some more sources of income towards the bottom right-hand side, but he doesn't even have the money to be able to make static and defend it properly. So even if he is able to steal some resources from some of those bottom right bases, there's no guarantees that they'll stay alive.
And he just missed the carriers rallying through the middle. He's trying to cut it off now, look for some abducts from behind, maybe some parasitic bombs. He's going to come forward, gets an abduct on just one Void Ray, and nice feedback to deny those Vipers. That means there's no abducts. It means the Corruptors are separate. The Void Rays are going to try and capitalize by just crushing through the Spore Queen. Watch out for the Fungal, though. Ooh, watch out for the Fungal. Feedback, though. Answers in kind. 3 Infestors do get feedbacked. And back to the shield batteries where the Void Rays are safe.
I mean, yeah, it got rid of some shields, but apart from that, wasn't really anything else being achieved there. Gateway getting put in towards the shield batteries to allow for some quicker warp-ins in case ButAlways wants to switch things up a little bit. Does he even have enough gateways to be able to build that many ground units, though? How many gateways does this man have?
Yeah, I don't even know. It's probably only a couple at this point.
Because he went straight Stargate at the start of the game.
I want to apologize, by the way, to anyone who's super keen for EU to start. Looks like that's going to be delayed a little bit as we are in the midst of an absolute mad game here that has just started off insane and will not stop. We also had a very long series before this. It is currently getting nice and late here in Australia, so me and Pilsky are very... you know what? If we were going to have our sleep schedules ruined at all, this is the way to do it.
I feel
this
bad.
Sort of
I feel
weird
bad
game.
as well because my missus got the COVID vax today, and I promised to take care of her. And next minute, a bunch of the boys in Taiwan have decided to play, you know, an hour-long PVZs in multiple series, and here I am at 1:30 in the morning.
Oh damn! Shouting about the games and keeping her up, and that is what it's all about. Sometimes putting in the extra hard yards to try and talk about these mad, crazy games. And as I said, ButAlways is a cheeser, but he does strange different things. He does surprise tactics. Oh, and this is the most surprising. I don't think GogojOey was expecting himself to get cannon rushed. What was it 7.5, 8 minutes into the game out front his 4th base? This is just ButAlways in his ridiculous element, doing strange things, forcing people into weird positions. And He's a master of the rush. He's building up the bank now. Let's see how good he is at this. Do we call this late game when it's basically just Void Rays and High Templar with like, was it like 3 carriers in there?
Oh, you were saying ButAlways just builds 2 units, so far you've been correct about that. You were saying Colossus Void Rays before. This time he's changing it up. He doesn't want to go Robotech. This was the winning unit comp for Rex in that second game of the previous series. The difference was Rex wasn't really trying to go for the static defense, but trying to pressure the bases that were most valuable for the Protoss. And he has done a good job of denying some of the bases, but those top left bases are really what's kind of keeping ButAlways in the series right now. I kind of worry, though, with this very, very established center position, even if GogojOey was to kind of pressure towards the top side, he'd probably lose a couple of hatches.
Oh, you know, the High Templar, of course, wanting to zone out those infestors. A single Tempest is going to be the slowest chipping away ever to try and keep the Broodlords back, but it's doing its job. Just needs to abduct that Tempest. If the Tempest goes down, the Broodlords can chip away. Joey he's trying to run his army in a little bit. Oh.
One thing's for sure, P. Next game, Proxy Stargate. 100%.
Oh yeah, proxy. I mean, cannon rush maybe. You know, even faster. It's gonna be as fast as possible. We're gonna see Ludo's proxy gate zealot cannon rush. You know, something mad. Very careful with the abducts. Just grabs one void ray there. You notice the High Templar aren't really always covering them, but he's being very cautious. His GogojOey doesn't want to just get caught out by those storms and feedbacks. Now he's starting to finally make some headway. This is really important. And does fungal that one High Templar, which is getting hit by broodlings, but not really killed just yet. And this whole bottom right side of the map, you mentioned there's not much static there. The Corruptors and Vipers are going to scramble in that direction. Infestors backing them up, but always realizes it's risky to get caught out in the open. He's going to try to come back. Joey, he's out in the middle.
I think that's the biggest difference between the Rex game and this one, is that Rex had like 100 Spork Rulers. That's not even an exaggeration, like literally 100. And I don't see any static defense really for Joey. Man, it's just relying on these Corruptors. But again, it kind of seems like the pack of 4 or 5 Broodlords is exactly what the Zerg needs to break any position.
Yeah, right now, absolutely that's the case. And remember, ButAlways doesn't have charge. He doesn't have 20 gateways. You know, he can't just swap into ground to take advantage of the fact that there's like 1 Ultra and a couple of Zerglings on the ground. So this really is just 2 giant Sky Armies. I mean, Joey's bank is caught up now. I think that 12 o'clock base, the bottom middle one, that's actually a pretty important base to see who mines that out. And right now, GogojOey's letting him get up a bunch of cannons, batteries, and a Nexus. So I do think that's a little bit of an oversight from Joey. He's got to make sure he denies that bottom base.
Maybe, I mean, we were talking about the banks. The banks looking pretty good for both of these players. I don't know. Joey hasn't been trading very cost efficiently though. I think every time we've seen the units lost tab or battle report and all that kind of stuff, it hasn't looked pretty for him. But
Can we
maybe
get a look at the units lost
Broodlords...
tab again, actually? It'd be really interesting to see the overall totals. Because I think that's so important in these sort of games as it goes on. So definitely, hopefully we'll get a glance at the units lost in a little bit. But for now, the Void Rays are going to get a bit more action. Ultra Cavern's going to go down, as well as a few Overlords up there.
About to see some migration of static defense. GogojOey feeling more confident to push out past his means.
Oh, the bottom. His Corruptors are out of position. Oh no, I think he's losing his Broodlords. Oh, 1 or 2 do go down. Oh, fungal though. Ooh.
Hold on, he's keeping him in position. Yeah, he gets 1 carrier.
Not bad.
He's going to take that home.
Oh, Void Rays are going to push in and take out the very important Spire? Yeah, actually Spire is pretty important. Oh, he better rebuild that pretty quickly before the Hive goes down. Oh, Joey's not rebuilt it. He's not rebuilt the Spire. He's not rebuilt the Spire. Uh-oh.
No more Broodlords for a little bit, and those have been pretty important in these EVPs.
Not to mention just the Corruptors. If he loses his Corruptors, if there's a big battle, he doesn't have a single Spire out right now.
I thought I just assumed he had double Spire.
Yeah, no, remember, he was making upgrades one at a time since like 6 minutes in this game. He's done 3 off one Spire and Greater Spire.
It's going to be the dumbest question of all time. But
yeah.
Wait, you need a lair. To get a lair, you need a spawning pool, right?
Yeah, so he needs a spawning pool, then a lair, then a Spire.
It's got to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, he's starting from literally at the beginning of the game with his tech tree. That's why when you see people getting in your base as a Zerg, it's like you just Infestation Pit, Spire, and maybe a Hydra Den, whatever your most important tech is. Ultra Cavern in this case, it would have been. But now he's lost all those. Oh, he's going to lose the Infestation Pit as well, but he does get a bunch of Void Rays, so that's actually okay. Ooh, nice snipe on the Viper to at least get something out of that trade for ButAlways. Now, ButAlways, he says, hey, your Corruptors are out of position. I'm going to try and get rid of those Broodlords.
He's going all carriers now. No Tempest or Void Rays. So switching his choice of unit for the time being. Potentially in response to the fact that GogojOey has to move back through the tech tree rather slowly before he can potentially get himself more Broodlords. But there's enough energy on those Queens that he might actually have the chance to do it and not lose his Broodlords anyway.
Well, he will finally deny this 12 o'clock base. That's very important. ButAlways managed to mine a little bit of it out, though, and he's still got a very hefty bank. So, yeah, it's going to kind of continue from here. And I mean, I would say ButAlways is still a little favored, except for the fact that we've seen ButAlways kind of just ram Void Rays into positions and kind of catch him out of position. I haven't really seen him be able to take a fight away from Cannon Battery. That's a very hard thing to do, this sort of late game battle. ButAlways is such a cheesy player. Does he even have any High Templar right now? Has he gotten rid of those?
I haven't seen any.
Still got 3 of them. Okay, he's got some still with his army, and it's a lot of carriers. But you know what? There's not many spores. Oh, the Broodlords are caught out. That's a lot of Void Rays. He can't fight into that many prismatically aligned Void Rays. You know what? Yeah, I actually think ButAlways' army is just a bit better here. Oh, the Parasitic Bomb! No split at all! Oh my god! Oh!
A little bit of hull damage. Overcharge will get a lot of those healed up, as well as the shields just regenning. There you go. That's what we call cooperation. Got an assimilator and an extractor on the same base. No worries. It's all good. We can have a gas each.
Get that hybrid mentality. Amon was all about togetherness.
True. Need to get
just add more tentacles and become super friendly.
Get ourselves a Dark Archon and some mind control going and start from scratch. We already did it once with the spawning pool into the Infestation Pit, and now finally getting towards the Hive. Why not move through a Protoss tech tree?
We've actually seen a few Dark Archons, right? We've seen a few Neuroparasite Archons turn on their own side and start killing their own in this game. And
true,
it's been kind of a feature of this matchup recently. But I just, this air army, you need to get rid of the Void Rays, and then the Corruptors will destroy the carriers, right? If you can clear the High Templar with the Ultraling, then get rid of the Void Rays with the spells, Corruptors will go down real easy. That's a lot of ifs, though. And you don't have the 400 Spore Crawlers to fall back on, right? Remember, that's what Rex used in that game against Nice. That's usually what kind of backs you up. The Spore Crawlers, I think there's maybe 15 on this map. 20 at most. There's not many Spore Crawlers. A recall to the south. He's going to try and outposition him, take out this hatchery. A cute little reposition from ButAlways, using that recall mobility to catch Joey out of position and deny this base.
That's a lot of static going down for very little value. Oh man. Pig, do you reckon anyone's sat through both of these PVZs?
Oh, there's a lot of people. People are like rage refreshing at this point. They're like, what? No, kill each other. It's great. Dude, I'm watching that viewer count go up. We've got the EU casters. We've got like Roddy and I think maybe DeMuslim or Todd is casting today with him in chat. They're like, hey, we're getting paid either way, even if we're just watching you guys cast. It's all good, man. Everyone's having a good time. People in chat are arguing about balance. They think that this is the meta right now. Guys, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I'm not sure if the cannon battery outside your opponent's third base is the meta right now. But I get what you're all saying. I understand. And yeah, dude, this is actually just wild. Like, this is such a crazy game.
Don't worry, we got potentially 2 more maps to go after this one. So no one's in a rush here. Especially not me. You know, I can only lose sleep at this point. It's fine.
Indeed. All right, well, that hive's almost rebuilt, which means you can replace the Vipers as needed. And yeah, GogojOey's going to try and secure the 12 o'clock. Void Ray hit squads are going to continue. I think Joey needs to start splitting off smaller squads of Corruptors to deal with these, because he kind of keeps sending his whole army for just a few Void Rays. And at this point, it's an easy bait for ButAlways, right? He's like, oh, no, I'm going to lose 3 Void Rays. Oh, no. And once again, Joey pulled his whole army up there. The Zergs, you know, they're killing a building or two, which is cute, but they're not really achieving that much. And throwing units away, oh, this is... You cannot go for a base right now. You got to get back to the south side. Joey, he's got to protect this south side. That's the whole map. This base is all that matters. There's nothing he's even got in the top side of this map that's even important anymore. So I really want to see Joey just double down on that bottom 12 o'clock base, because mining that out has to be the #1 priority. ButAlways is actually incredibly low on gas right now. And is he even mining gas at this point? I think he's completely out of gas mining, right?
I think it's the top side. That's the last, like, gas that I think is mining.
It's only minerals, actually.
Oh, really?
There's not even gas. Yeah. So ButAlways, he's got 2,500 gas. That's it. I mean, he's got a lot of minerals to replace interceptors with. He's still got a good army that's hard to kill, but that's a problem for him.
Yeah, and there's still no, like, static. He's starting to invest some minerals here, trying to push into a more aggressive position, try to end the game. Cybercore actually being built there, interestingly. That's something. So what? I'd imagine that as a Protoss, you just want the Storms on the Cloud of Corruptors and that kind of a fight, the feedbacks maybe, and then the Zerg, he wants these fungals. That's a nice fungal.
Oh, feedbacks on the Vipers though, so I don't think any parasitic bombs went down, but great fungals.
Another Storm, just a zone, still just a little bit more standoffish from both of these players. Most of the spellcasters dwindling on energy now. GogojOey replacing a few of them, a few Vipers in towards there. And once again, the zoom over the shield batteries for safety.
Okay, so the carriers and Void Rays just roaming around up there. He's replacing the Vipers. It's all about landing those Viper spells. And you know what? I actually think there's a lot of moments here where this army is super exposed on multiple angles to getting those abducts or those parasitic bombs. So I actually think ButAlways has a few issues with his kind of army positioning, like, or not issues, but openings that could be taken advantage of. Recall. He's going to do that recall one more time on the south side. He's going to go for this base. He keeps doing it, and he's doing it again. He's realizing denying this base is very important.
Yeah, and he's killing more and more of these buildings. You have the interceptors as well that are just more effective at killing off the buildings than this Corruptor comp that GogojOey is working with. He doesn't really have the same power of just being able to zoom around and take out these buildings. So over more and more time, the Protoss player can just keep killing off the Zerg buildings. And at the end of the day, like, if you don't have the hatches to be able to replenish this army, if you don't have the buildings up, you're not going to be able to take this game. And I'm kind of feeling the Protoss player now.
Well, this is what a cannon rush is meant to do, mate. It's the carrier cannon rush, and then 44 minutes later they run out of resources.
This is what happens. This is what happens when you get the second generation of Haas, is it? That's what you were saying earlier. Inspired by Haas.
Oh yeah. He said, you know, that's cool. People say he's a cheeser and does wild strats. He's like, I'm gonna dial that up a notch. You know, people will remember my name forever. I am ButAlways.
We got the probe run by towards the south side. Always dangerous. Oh, a couple of infestors may be interrupted there. I mean, that's just more lava going down. At the end of the day, like, he needs these hatches to be able to spend his money.
You know, I'd love to see some abducts. Ooh, I think he's getting some. Grabs one carrier, grabs two carriers, does get a couple Vipers feedback, but they don't die. That's a really good trade for Joey. And you know what? 5 Void Rays queue up, but always down to 1,500 minerals in the bank. It's lowering. It's getting lower and lower. But the gas is getting real low, big guy.
Oh, man. Well, there's still some gas income for Joey. He's got a much bigger bank. He needs to be able to replenish these units.
there's no way Protoss can oversupply, right? I'm just thinking, I'm like, because he's at 197 army supply right now. 2 probes. I'm like, there's no way he, because Zerg can cancel spore crawlers to like get above supply kind of thing, that sort of stuff. But I don't think you can get above it. I mean, the Fist and Neeb was like 198 or 200 army supply that Neeb made back in BlizzCon 2017, I think it was 2018. Where he made just like a pure max, killed all of his probes in the end of the game to have the biggest army possible. That's kind of what ButAlways is getting to here. It's just such a scary number of carriers. If they get any moment attacking the spellcasters, the Vipers and Infestors can just disappear in an instant. That's why Joey's being so cautious, because he's like, oh, if I stand and fight, my stuff will just disappear.
That's how long this game is. You're able to give me the whole history of BlizzCon now picked. You're able to run me through each of the years.
And in the first few months of StarCraft 2, Demaga made a bathing nest and some Zerglings and smashed the wall of his opponents and won every tournament online for many, many weeks.
Wow.
Then they took away the Siege Tank Siege upgrade and gave it Siege as soon as it popped out, and Terrans were able to defend.
I remember it well. My first game on Steps of War on the ladder. Very fun.
Oh,
great
times. Lost Temple, people dropping units on the cliff that was above your natural.
Oh god, I forgot about that.
Ooh, here we go. Oh, another abduct. And you know what? That's always a good trade for Joey. I mean, losing a base and tech kind of sucks.
He's got to start again, Pig. He's got to start again. He's lost
his
the hive
Spire
again.
there as well. Oh man. Oh wait, no, he's got Spire.
Okay.
He's got Spire in the bottom, so he's okay for now.
He's only got the 4 hatches though. Like, I'm just watching the Protoss player just kill off more and more hatches.
Yeah, Joey might run out of buildings that he can gather energy off with the Vipers.
Like, having a bank
is like
having a bank is cool and everything, but if you don't have lava, you can't spend your money.
Yeah, that's actually how the mass nuke meta a few years ago. That's how Zergs would die. They'd die with like 10k in the bank, but they'd like lose every hatchery and lava. They'd have like one base they're trying to defend, as they just get mass nuked constantly by like 8 ghost academies. Like, Innovation's there with a big fat smile on his face. Like, Zerg is so broken. He's just like spamming nukes across the map, this fat grin on his face. And you just see the Zerg's like, oh my god, like there's too many nukes to handle.
Oh boy. I think Maynard got off easy today. He's having a snooze right now. He's got his eyes closed. Got his nice little sleeping cap on. I'm envious.
I'm at this point outsourcing my commentary, by the way, to the Twitch chat. Raynor shouting a few minutes ago he abducted the Observer. So indeed, GogojOey doing some hype moves. Just, you know, any little bit of value he can get, just grabbing them. And still a much bigger bank for GogojOey. But as you said, well, might not be able to rebuild it if this next fight doesn't go too well. If I was Joey, I think I would have actually be building more drones and spores.
Yeah, well, this is what we were talking about before. There's no static. Here we go. Spawning pool again. 49-minute spawning pool. Just as the build dictates. Love to see it.
Heck yeah.
Just sticking to the fundamentals through thick and thin.
Just sticking to the fundamentals. This is crazy. I haven't seen a game stalemate like this in quite a while. It's pretty rare these days. Actually, wait. When were we casting in the studio last year? Right, with like, I remember there was a very long. I think I was laughing because you had to cast it with light. And the Eljanas had just come, so I was smashing delicious chicken and chips, and yeah, it was risky.
It was an hour, dude.
It was an hour-long game, and I was like lying on the couch because I was on break that series, laughing while you guys were like stuck in there, hungry.
I'm cursed, dude. I actually get the biggest Clown Fiesta games. Like, I'm the least proficient commentator, and they're just like, it's the new guy. Let's
break down the late game 17 spellcaster interactions. Come on, go.
Well, Funkles are good against full energy Templars, I can tell you that. Oh, hold on. We're actually getting a fight. A couple of abducts.
Parasitic Bomb of the Void Rays! Parasitic Bomb of the Void Rays! Oh my god! They're taking so much damage, but the Corruptors are standing and fighting. Are they standing and fighting too early? I think they are, dude. I don't know. Mass neural parasite as well. Oh my god. But I think Joey's going to lose. I think there's too many carriers here. I think he's going to get overwhelmed. The neurals are steadily being broken. Oh, this is going to come down to the Remax, dude. The carriers are still here. Wait. The corruptors are actually starting to kill him. The neurals did their trick. There's no interceptors left. He's going to lose all of his carries. He's got to recall right now if he wants to have any chance. Well, I don't think he's got a chance anymore. Oh my god, Joey. He's done it. He's weathered the storm, mate.
I feel better about myself that you could have called that fight either. I just have no idea.
Who knows? Half the units are stolen, half aren't. There's neural parasites, there's tentacles sticking into half the carriers. Some of the carriers have interceptors, some don't. That is madness. And that is game 1 of the best of 3.
Oh, do I... we can call it off, right? We can just call it off. I'm broken. And that, like, it'll be fine. I would be saying epic game if that was like the first time tonight that's happened, but it's not. That's already happened once tonight. We've already gone to a 1 hour PvZ once tonight. That was a good game though. That was like, I haven't seen, like you said, I haven't seen a stalemate like that in a while. And I haven't seen a Zerg player like how long were we at a stalemate at this ledge here? It was like a fight for the ledge. They talk about, like, what is it? Like Gallipoli on that beach or whatever. Like, this is the new Gallipoli in StarCraft Reborn. You know, you just got... I love it. It was... I don't know what's important about this ledge, but both players...
What was great as well is it was like the Hive was coming up for the first time at 18 minutes plus. Like, Vipers hit the field at like 19 minutes. It was Mass Queen Corruptor standing off with Viper Carrier Shield Battery for so long. I mean, shout out to the spellcasting. Parasitic bombs on both the Void Rays and the carriers spread throughout. Decides to engage once they'd already done a lot of damage. And blanketed fungal across. Lots of neuroparasite. That was damned well done.
I just love the jump in the replays as well. We had like 11 minutes, then 20 minutes, and then 50 minutes. Like, just cut 30 minutes of the game. What happened? Don't worry about it. Doesn't matter. Not important. So, wait, who won that? Joey, right? So we got a 1-0 for Joey. And he is kind of the underdog in this series. I'm eager to see if he can potentially get himself an upset, because it was an almost for Rex. Let's see, after this short break, if a Zerg player can break through and defeat a Protoss player in the Taiwanese region. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back to DreamHack Masters StarCraft 2, aka the circus, or maybe it's the petting zoo because I've got Peak here with me. How you going, mate? Do you like having a nice pat every now and again? You know, are you okay with people in your personal space, or not really?
I'm all right with it. A little tickle under the chin doesn't go too wrong. Just don't pull me tail. All right, that's people always go for the curly tail. It's not on. It's not on. Got to have boundaries.
There you go. Well, apparently we've set no boundaries. We've set no time limit for this broadcast. It is a... I don't know about StarCraft, man, but I'm endemic to Counter-Strike, and in Counter-Strike, everyone, non-stop, every Reddit thread, the games go for too long. We need to shorten the format, and I've apparently brought it with me as we had another hour-long PVC, and that was just map number 1. And you know what that means, Pig? That means 100% cheese from the Protoss second game, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we're going to see a cannon rush, and it's going to go into a 25-minute game where they're on like 8 drones versus like 9 probes after some messed up early game. Is going to be an absolute mess, and this man's going to make it that way. In the top left in the blue, he is ButAlways.
And over here in the bottom right-hand side, enjoying the fruits of his labor after many, many minutes in the first game. He is up 1-0 in this series. It is the Red Zerg, GogojOey. And again, his hatch isn't even being blocked. And he's just going to go to the third. It's on autopilot at this point. He's so over getting blocked that he's just going to make it at the third.
I think it's part of his defense against cannon rush as well, actually, if I think about it. Oh, that's a fake cannon rush, right? Oh, it's real. Oh,
It's real.
My.
It's real if you want it to be.
Wait, what? Oh, so he's expecting that one to get cancelled and him to go back to the natural. So he's going to try and have that ready to quickly cannon the natural as well if he needs to. Ah, this is fascinating.
Or
oh
maybe.
My gosh. Cybercore's already on the way at home. He's got a gas mining, so he could go for a very quick robo if he wants to. 4 drones have been pulled, but that Overlord is not watching the third base. Joey doesn't see the pylon. Joey? Oh, this is super greedy from Joey. He's gonna get in big trouble.
He hasn't seen the forge yet, so maybe he thinks it was just a fake pylon at the natural.
Yeah, I mean, he's been absolutely duped, though. There's no way he can defend it. So he's pulling these drones for this cannon. But the cannons are already finishing on his third, where his third base finishes over there. Oh, this is... Oh, he's got to go back to mining right now. Joey's losing way too much mining. And this is going to be a situation. I wonder if ButAlways builds a robo or something on the front. Or does he just expand behind this?
He's going to drop the Nexus. So, I mean, Joey's going to lose this hatch down here no matter what. But if he drops his natural and then a third up towards the north side, is he in that? Oh, forget about it. Roach Warrant follow up.
Yeah. Very early Roach Horn, but it still might be mostly defensive here. Zerglings do sneak around the Adept. The Adept is here. Queen takes a ton of damage, and now the Adept can take her down in the head-to-head. Oh, that's a really bad turn of events here for Joey. That Queen's dead.
Yeah, that's really going to slow him down a little bit. At least if the Roach Warren finishes up, can potentially have some sieging power. And with the vision from the cannon, takes out the tumor as well. So he doesn't get value out of that. In the meanwhile, the Lings applying pressure to the Forge, but can't find their way in. And with the Adept defending, he's not going to have too many issues. And now only 1 Queen and no Lings back at home to defend the Adept means that he loses 2 drones. And at this point, with only 20 workers, that's not really something he can afford. Here's the Stargate follow-up for ButAlways, who, with his opponent set back a little bit, not even being able to afford some of the simpler things in life. Definitely not going to have too easy of a time with the static defense and the Queen production after losing that secondary Queen down there as well.
And the Roach is going to come out to try and push this back. Can't really exert any pressure with them, though, because there will be a Stargate finish by the time they get across the map. So I think it's not even worth it. The Adepts have already done so much damage, and Joey is trailing in that regard. Adept goes into the main base, I believe, and looks Looks like it did end up getting defended in there. Oh no. Some nice spore tricks and drone micro to survive in the main. The Adept gets out though.
There's a Void Ray, and as I expected, the hatch towards the north side instead. Ravager will definitely help clear out that third base location towards the left side, and Joey's going to start droning. It isn't an Oracle straight away, it is instead just that Void Ray to pick off Overlords and potentially exert some pressure, and no Oracle follow-up at all. He's just going straight Void Rays. So we'll see if he finds some success with it. There is Spore Crawlers on the way. It's not like he's been pumping that Queen production, but he's got a couple sort of meandering around.
Finally cleaning up that Adept that's been such a pest. Oh my god. This is the pre-setup. He's already got it set up.
I was gonna say it. I was gonna say it when I saw that battery as a joke. When I saw that pylon as a joke towards the third, I was gonna say it. And I held my tongue, and I regret it now.
That is hilarious, dude. He's like, oh my god. So
I don't think it's gonna work though, right? He's got Ravagers.
Well, he doesn't need to kill him right now. All this needs to do, he just needs to like be annoying. Because look at the worker count. Like it's almost over at this point, I think, for this game. I feel like 39 probes to 27 workers and Void Rays plus some batteries and stuff outside your base. Like, okay, don't build more batteries. There's just no reason to, right? Like definitely just continue your tech and product. He's building more shield batteries. Okay, but always like I get it, but like, you know, it's fun to build shield batteries outside your opponent's base, but like, I don't know if it's effective.
He's adding another Stargate as well, so he's going to be sieging his opponent a la the last game. More and more batteries being added.
Oh, he might, I mean, I guess if he kills the queens, he just wins the game with the Void Ray rally. So I could see what he's going for, but because there is 3 more queens in production, it looks like Joey should hang on. And I think ButAlways should absolutely move out to a third base, just kind of move up to carry attack, or I mean, a ground transition would be incredible as well. If he just went charge here, that would be very hard.
He's overextending a little bit onto the creep actually, and wasn't really expecting the queen count. Almost loses a second Void Ray there as well. And that third Nexus does get taken. Not sure if he's going to be teching up too much. But if there is a thing that we've seen in this series from the Protoss man, it has been a tendency to be quite stubborn and try to force this to work as opposed to exploring his other options.
Yeah, definitely trying to lean into it very hard. Is now going for Twilight Council and more Void Rays and +1. So I think the easy way to do it is that, you know, get up maybe 3 bases. You're so far ahead in terms of economy. Your Void Rays are keeping the opponent busy massing queens, which aren't really helpful against Zealots. Zealots are such a powerful raw damage unit. So I definitely feel like we're going to have, you know, lots of Gateway Explosion, charge, and probably just a big attack on the ground, as that's the easiest path to victory for ButAlways from here.
Might actually be kind of conditioning his opponent as well, based off how that last game went with this Void Ray pressure. You're seeing GogojOey. He might even like think about cutting some corners in towards this like extra static. You know, haven't seen him add Aspire or anything like that, but if he thought that was the direction that the game was heading, he might cut some extra corners in that direction. I don't think he's really got the room to do that, though. He's still kind of trying to get on top of the drone count, really.
It's going to be Blink Stalkers and DTs. An interesting set of units. Not the most well-rounded kind of straight-up army transition 8 minutes into the game, but definitely suits ButAlways tactics, which can be described as a very, very sneaky boy.
I think he just built, like, you know, a lot of Protoss players, they waste their time building the, you know, meat and potatoes of the army, the units that soak up damage. If there's one thing I noticed from ButAlways, it's that he just builds the units that do damage and doesn't worry about the rest.
Laren Evo Chamber on the way. We've got Ling Speed coming in. I mean, Joey's up to 63 drones. He's got a lot of queens. He's got a wall of spores. I think he's kind of stabilized here and got back into a decent position. He just doesn't have any real tech up yet, right? With such a late layer, but he's got some Ravagers, which are the keeps you alive unit. Using Bile to help zone out those Void Rays. And yeah, it's just kind of, how do you deal with what is blink it now. Charge.
Is he going to be ready for that though? Like he's just got no information really.
He's got so many queens, which creates such a buffer. And ButAlways is only at 59 probes. No fourth base. Is still building Void Rays, which are the most useless unit right now. So ButAlways follow-up is... I got to be critical here because I'm looking for a way it makes sense. But he's gone Blink. He's gone a handful of Stalkers. Now he's gone Charge. He's got some Void Rays that are doing some cute harassment. He's keeping Joey on 3 base, but he's not really probing up to take his own fourth or anything like that. His natural will start mining out in about a minute or two. So yeah, okay, finally a fourth goes down for ButAlways. He had the Templar Archives. He's coming across with some Stalkers. Okay. Oh, actually, okay, you know what? Joey might just be a bit too slow on the unit production. ButAlways was way ahead earlier, and he's just going to blink on the Ravagers. Okay, that might just be enough. As you said, Joey had no information, so doesn't see the Stalkers coming, and they're going to be a big problem.
Yeah, that's kind of what I assumed. Like, he's still kind of thinking about... Look at all the queens. He's kind of thinking about what happened last game. He's been conditioned into a false sense of security that he needs to prepare for this Void Ray BS. That's where you swoop in with the good old plus 1, plus 2, whatever. Blink Stalkers. Does get a lot of damage done. Leaves a couple behind, but you know what? No one's perfect. He's getting that fourth as well.
It's not the end of the game, though, for Joey. I would like to see him stop building queens at this point, though. He's already at, I think, like 14 queens or something like that, and he's building 2 more. He's rebuilding his natural and the fourth in the top of the map.
He's not really spreading that much creep either, considering the amount of queens he's got.
Yeah, he's just being pinned back so much. Uh-oh. Oh, queens caught out in the open a little bit. I mean, Stalkers don't really have the damage density to kill them unless they run forward and focus fire. Yeah. So you can chip away here, but the transfuses just heal right through it.
I feel like he's playing a mini game right now, just practicing his transfuse micro. And it's keeping him alive, that's for sure. Starting to diversify his tech a little bit more, going Infestation Pit. He's got the Baneling Nest rolling in. Void Rays never did end up going down. So he's going to start zapping away at that lair. Actually, this is a problem for Joey, who's seeing in an engagement towards the front side. A 2-pronged attack from ButAlways, getting a lot of value done. The mobility of the Stalkers means that he doesn't lose too many of them, and he's able to just roll out of there, and down goes the lair.
Yeah, that's another hatch snipe there. A couple of the Void Rays will fall, but actually there's still some Void Rays alive. The Queens will eventually deal with it. Roach Ravager trying to stabilize here for Joey. He's not quite able to do it. Joey was so far behind from the cannon rush. He's trying to scramble together and just get some form of defense going. ButAlways just attacking here. He's got the upgrade advantage, plus 2 Blink Stalkers. Very good versus Roach Ravager. And I think in these numbers, it's going to be hard for Joey to get back in this game because ButAlways can transfer probes to the fourth. He can swap into Zealot run-bys at any point. And for Joey, I mean, you're just barely trying to hang on to survive. This is where the DTs can swing in on a surprising angle and find massive damage.
You got the shove at the front with the Stalkers. 15 drones just got transferred to the top side. They are never going to get to mine at that base at all. Just the 5 DTs. Going to take down the hatchery immediately. And that is a big source of income going by the wayside for Joey. He's down a base now, effectively.
Stalker's in the main at the same time. He's blinked up the cliff, and he's going to try and pick off the Roach Ravager as it runs up that ramp into him. Biles are going to be used to break the formation. Nice micro by Joey. It pushes back these Stalkers pretty quickly.
Yeah, the shift click blink micro to get back off the clip. And just seeing ButAlways staying active, pushing and pulling where he can. And actually, he's the one who's a little bit more on top of the work account at this point. Getting up towards 75 drones. He's now going into carriers. So switching, try to get on top of this Roach Ravager comp. And I don't know if Joey has a leg yet. Still, it did get picked off a little while ago. I'm not sure I've seen him rebuild it just yet.
Oh, Joey's going to just try and jump down and chase him off this area for now. Not a bad idea to finally get rid of this position. But if you chase too far off creep, Blink Stalkers can get incredibly valuable.
Yep. Cost efficient. DT's having a bit of a smoko. One guy's digging a hole, the rest of them are standing around.
Ooh. I'm on Smoko, so leave me alone. But yeah, I don't think ButAlways is ever going to leave Joey alone. The DTs, are they going back in on the north yet? Looks like, ooh, the Roach Overseer looks like might find them. So I think Joey can clean that up. He should notice that with his Overseer, and he will. Ooh, great trade.
Oh, they didn't get him microed away. I thought that might have been a bit of a bait for ButAlways. Turns out to be a bit of a bait for Joey. because the Stalkers shift over, try to save the DTs, but that's where the Roach Ravager gets on top of them, and that's 5 DTs going down. There is this tech switch coming in, though. It's a probe advantage for ButAlways. It's kind of an economy advantage. He's had this 4th saturated for a little bit longer, and he's able to snipe that Zerg base earlier on. He's getting that 5th Nexus as well, and he's pumping 3 carriers at a time, and none of these units here shoot up. He's only just now adding a Spire and still hasn't got his Hive online.
Yeah, Joey feels his heart sink at this moment. He's like, please don't dodge the biles. Oh my god, he kills a carrier. Oh, sweet dreams are made of these. The other carrier is going to actually dodge around at least a little bit. And I mean, we'll keep our eyes on it. Oh, he keeps dodging it. ButAlways playing dodge the bile, and it turns out he's quite good at that game. Yep. And I keep really just wanting us to watch that just to see if he can. Oh, he almost got it. One more bile to finish it.
There's got to be like
obviously
some dream formation of biles that means he can't dodge it. Like, I don't know, like a star formation around the carrier. Someone's got to like innovate that. Let's be real. It's 2021. StarCraft 2. It's been out for long enough for someone to work out how to perfect bile.
It's the carrier killing pentagram. You got to do a pentagram really quick with your rapid fire button held down, and then there's no way it can dodge, man.
Dude, with the way that games have been going tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some pentagrams involved. Let's be real.
Own up to it. Who sacrificed a goat? Come on. Honestly.
Oh,
Who drew these dark magics down on us tonight? Well, ButAlways is finishing it. And once again, another Blinkstalker run by into a recall. DT's on the top again. He's got carriers, and I think Mama's out behind this as well. ButAlways is the base at the bottom left. He's retaking his 5th base. He is all over this game. And I think he's enjoying this way of finishing it off. Joey is like trying to just hang on for his life, but it is not really possible. He just doesn't have the material. When you're building like 4 Corruptors at a time versus what, a Mothership and a bunch of carriers. Wait, actually, did he get how many? I'm trying to think about like how this could work, but like you can just morph Archons here. Yeah, there's just not enough. There's no way you could take that army on as Joey.
Try bile. The Mothership still hasn't perfected whatever the right pattern is to catch a flying unit, and he's going to get chased off of this 3rd base location, ButAlways in a pretty nice position there. Even gets a nice little slowdown. Haven't seen that for a while from the Mothership.
Hey.
And there you go. 1 apiece. A much more convincing game. I think that's a little bit more what I expected out of this series, Pig. I don't know about you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we called it. We said cannon rush, right? He's just going to rush after the previous game.
I can't believe you called that. I just realized you called that.
I knew it. The funny thing is, I was like, oh, but Joey kind of takes this 3rd, so a cannon rush out there isn't as effective. But the thing is, I just assumed he would send his Overlord out there, but he left his Overlord over as natural. When you take the 3rd, you've really got to get the Overlord over there very quickly to check if it's being cannon rushed. And ButAlways just tricked him. Just totally tricked him, and he was so ahead from the start. I think ButAlways didn't finish this in the most efficient way, but he finished it in the most frustrating way. Like, think about how you feel watching this game, and imagine what it feels like as GogojOey to just be constantly having cannons and batteries built outside your base, and Void Rays and carriers like that never leave your side of the map and are constantly running in and sniping hatcheries and things. This is frustrating to play. So I think this is a really annoying style to play against. He's running DTs in, he's running Blinkstalkers past. And yeah, I'm not sure ButAlways minds playing long, messy, drawn-out games. So definitely one where I think he's going to be doing a little bit better mentally after that. I think he grabbed control of it. Took a long time to finish it off. But yeah, the cannon rush did well. It's one and done. I don't think we're going to see a cannon rush in game 3. So what is the next tricky play from ButAlways?
I'm interested to see. I mean, it's something Nice was talking about as well. Like, we had the interview with him and he was like, yeah, I proxied because we had a long game and I thought my opponent would get sloppy. You talk about the Overlord not being floated over the 3rd. Not sure if you would have seen that after a 10-minute game. Who knows? However, we do make it to a 3rd map in the series. Still one more map of StarCraft to go here. And I don't know, in a more sort of normal game, I felt like that was a much more one-sided affair. Definitely not the same kind of performance that Rex was putting in early against his Protoss opponent. But it's not like the series isn't unwinnable for one of our Zerg friends tonight. So I'm keen to see if GogojOey can kind of recover after a bit of a frustrating previous game. And, similar to what Rex was doing, running his lings around and just being
Yeah.
hyper aware and just being on top of everything, I think he needs to make sure that he's just getting himself off to a decent start.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. So I think we're going to be going to game 3 in a second, which should be very, very exciting because this is, no matter what, the last game of our part of the broadcast here. We already did Oceania earlier today. We're finishing up Taiwan, Hong Kong, Macau, Japan for today. Down here in the bottom left, it's ButAlways.
And over on the other side of the map, the man who wants to try to take down a Protoss player and have some glory for all of the Zerg friends in this region. It is the Red Zerg GogojOey. It's like a lot of bugs getting squished in this region, man. It's like watching that first Men in Black movie. What was that guy's name? The Roach, like the main villain in that film.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
remember.
I can't. I just call him the Roach, the guy in the man costume.
The guy in the man costume.
Yeah, I love that. That's such a memorable movie. Now, is that Overlord going to go over there and check this time? Surely it will. As once again, he goes for that third base straight away. And I really think the reason for the third is not only does he expect it to get blocked, and this is just preparing for that, but I think it's also him just saying, oh, well, if I get cannon rushed, I don't want it to be also containing me and setting up a position for a robo right at the bottom of my ramp, because that's such a bad position to deal with Immortal Shield Battery. This way, if you build that at my third base, I can easily defend that. It's far enough away from my main. I can take a different hatchery. I can play it out. So there is a real intelligent kind of reasoning behind what Joey's doing. This time he's shifted his Overlord over to that third base area, checks there's nothing going on, and yeah, looks like a bit more of a chilled out opening.
Isn't dropping himself that next hatchery adjuster yet. Just going to get himself the ling speed first. Maybe grab a couple of queens, couple of lings as well. So not that super fast third hatch, but instead wanting to have the lings online in case there's any sort of funky business going on.
Stargate going to be the order of the day once again. His flying units have been performing very well for ButAlways, and we'll see exactly what he does. Hatchery's going to go down on the natural there for the third base. Joey just establishing things in a very standard fashion so far. Now, this is a great map for walking queens across the map. If we do see the double Stargate play, I would love that style. Joey has shown he loves queens. More than loves. He's obsessed with queens. I think he should be the Muslims' favorite Zerg, because he's all about that royalty. Just queens, 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 queens. Doesn't really like getting the spellcasters as early as kind of Rex went for. It's going to be Void Ray first. And yeah, I'm so curious how Joey approaches this game, because I don't think we'll see the straight to carrier build this time around.
I'm not seeing any pylon shield battery migration or formation over towards the third either. And I almost forgot that we're on Jagannatha. It's been that long since the veto, so you'll have to forgive me.
Ooh, a little bit of a supply block. Just a few seconds. And second Void Ray on the way. So multiple Void Rays into a second gate. I think ButAlways will be going for a very quick third base here. And there's another Overlord sitting behind the natural. It's kind of unfortunate for Joey in this scenario. That's almost certainly going to get cleaned up by these Void Rays.
He's spotting out those gases. There's that third Nexus coming out, and with the Lings active out on the map, I'm sure Joey will get a decent read on what's happening here. He's going for his lair, continuing to drone up. Good thing about this Void Ray openings, although he has been losing a couple of Overlords here and there, is at least he's not taking the same kind of drone losses as the Oracles usually do find you. Although a few here and there before the Queens get into position and push the Void Ray away. At least Joey's
Tasty.
able to get his economy kicked off.
Indeed, and it's going to be a second and a third Stargate now. ButAlways is taking the base up front. Oof. That is, it's a dicey thing to do that. It kind of makes sense because then they can't just get in between your bases as easily, but it's also much quicker push distance to get there. Joey's Overlord in the back of the natural sees the gases going down on the natural, knows about it. Roach Warren Evo Chamber on the way. Joey, he's droning so hard, it doesn't feel like he's going to do anything aggressive to punish this. But I don't know, I look at the way ButAlways plays and I just cannot imagine. Maybe with 3 Stargate you actually can defend most Queen pools. Because if you think about it, you've actually got so many Void Rays. Even with like Ravager Bile breaking your attacks. Even like a 10 Queen pool. You're doing nothing but building Void Rays from here. So this is actually really nice. 4 drone kills are a really good start for ButAlways. One of the Adepts continues on with its Shade, but isn't going to find any more damage. Overseer will come in, and that's all. You're not meant to get this scouting against triple Stargate. A bit of a mistake from ButAlways. The Overseer sees all 3 Stargates. Joey going to know exactly what he's up against.
Didn't check to the right side of his gases. So a good read for Joey. Maybe he can prepare himself some better static defense, perhaps. I think he has made his way into the lair, and there you see it, the Spire being dropped straight away. He continues to pump the Queens. I am dreading the game that we're about to have unfold before us.
Yeah, Queen Corruptor. Joey is really keen on that style. Now, this runs into a lot of problems. First of all, it runs into problems against Mass Void Ray, as we talked about. He managed to do it really well before. But the thing is, we saw he's very late to go to Spellcasters that really equalize against the Void Rays, and the Corruptors just aren't that efficient. The other problem is the Corruptors don't shoot down. Now, if your opponent can do nothing but build air units, like in Game 1, you can kind of get away with it. And these are some good little bits of damage for ButAlways. But he's going Twilight. He knows he's being scouted, so I think he'll swap into, Charge and a 4th base. So the problem is, if you get stuck on, like, just Mass Queen Corruptor, a wave of Zealots can ruin your day. They really can. And Joey is just letting ButAlways do whatever he wants on his side of the map. The Void Rays are now splitting up, so he can start looking for snipes. If he can deny the 4th base, it's already not the fastest 4th base. If he denies it even once, it's going to be really nice.
This is much more decisive from our Protoss friend than previously, where kind of felt like for a long time he's kind of rammed his head into a brick wall. No Corruptors. He's going for Mutas, actually. 11 Mutas in that production tab.
I quite like that, actually. Just to start, see if you can get them across into a mineral line. You don't want to keep massing them, most likely. I'm not sure what the follow-up will be, though. So that's what I'm most curious, because I don't think you can mass Mutas versus 3-star unless you really bank them up and completely surprise them with just an overwhelming number of Mutalisks, which definitely does have a chance of working out, and he's doing that for now, actually. You know what? ButAlways never built an Oracle. This Void Ray harasses his only scouting. And to just bank Mutas like this against 3 Stargate is very rare. It's a bit of a gamble. He's mostly making Zealot Archon. He's assuming Joey's going to be going either Queen Corruptor or some sort of ground army off this. And those Mutas are sneaking across the map. Does the main have a cannon in it? There's a cannon building somewhere right now, but okay, 2 cannons in the main. That's a good beginnings to a defense. So that's going to make it much harder to do damage. The Void Rays are nearby as well. So let's see what these Mutas can do.
It's the blind anticipation of the ground counter. He will confirm it, seeing all of those gates. Does take out both of the cannons, but can't really get too many of the probes that are starting to filter out of the base, but not continuing their journey. Actually, they all go under the flock of Mutas, and that's going to cost him 14 probes.
Very nice.
Zap a couple of these Mutas, and he's building 3 Phoenix at a time. Meanwhile, a little bit of a run by over here towards the 3rd base of Joey.
A lot of Queens. I think they can keep the hatch alive. As long as he transfuses the hatch, I don't think Archons can kill it. There's not many Zealots here. And yeah, the Archons are going to have to fall back. They killed some workers, but there's Roaches on the way. The Mutas are on top as well. A few of the Archons are going to go down. Archon Sentry, another Archon. As long as you ditch the Mutas now, just keep them back. They're going to force a lot of Phoenix out, which aren't the most useful units. The only problem for Joey is that it seems he's maxing on Roach Queen. Not the most long-term strategy. That being said, what's ButAlways got? Cannons and batteries and Zealots and Archons. He's not building late game. Like, Disruptors would be amazing versus this. Getting enough Immortals up, Colossus Archon, that sort of stuff would be great. As it is, Mutas do overextend on the other side of the map. A bit of a risky choice, but they get one of the Phoenix.
In the meanwhile, you saw a lot more drones in production for Joey. Went up towards 90-something. Can potentially get himself some more static defense. These Phoenix can kite forever, but are getting caught off, and the numbers are really thinning out over time. So Muta's staying effective, and in the meanwhile, Joey, as he did mention, really going for a hell of a lot of roaches, trying to switch things up before his opponent can respond. But there are still a fair few Void Rays.
Oh, Phoenix going to pick off a few units here. Fleet Beacon on the way for ButAlways. He'd like to start that carrier transition. It's a very basic army in terms of, like, you've got Void Rays, you've got Phoenix, you got Zealots and Archons, and it's just Roaches and Queens for GogojOey. It's 10.5 minutes in the game, but they've both reset to very basic armies, and it feels to me like Joey's is a little stronger, but don't underestimate the power of cannons, shield batteries, and also don't underestimate how useless those mutas are in a frontal fight.
Again, the switch back to Void Rays, as you've seen a lot of roaches here. Joey goes forward, trying to zone with the Biles, trying to get some more damage done, but with the overcharge and a lot of dead air for the Void Rays to get nice positioning, doesn't feel it's worth it. Instead, going to retreat to morph some more Ravagers and give it another crack pick.
Not much cannon battery up yet. I thought there'd be a lot more cannon battery here, but without that, look at this. Biles taking down shield batteries. The Phoenix are trying to lift. There's a lot of Queens in there. And with Biles spreading onto the Void Rays, the Queens landing transfusers. Oh, Phoenix, though, do lift up a bunch of these. And is that enough Biles? Oh my god, the Void Rays! But always losing a pack of Void Rays to Bile. And his fourth base is under assault at the same time by some Ling Roach in the bottom right side. Oh, it's the Mutas, in fact. Dude, GogojOey is actually going to crack through here. There's only a few Void Rays left, and there's still a massive pack of Queens.
Yeah, 26 more Roaches reinforcing, making their way across the map. Still, the Mutas haven't been dealt with. Only now do you start to see those Phoenix go over towards that bottom side of the map. The probes getting picked off right and left. 35 workers going down. Half the workers for the Protoss player, and he's surely going to lose his Nexus on the left side as the Roaches come straight in.
Queens! And this is it. The power of the Queen Walk. Oh, this is so powerful. The Mutas did damage, forced a lot of units like Phoenix, and it all kept ButAlways distracted. Where were the Robo units? Where were the Immortals in here? Where were the Immortals? The Disruptors? They weren't there, and ButAlways got caught with a bunch of Phoenix and Void Rays, which are just not great versus Queen Push. The Ravager Biles, dude, they've been spectacular. They've killed so many of these units. I cannot believe it. Joey, after a grueling game one, a punishing game two, he's going to take it out with the Max Queen Ravager Walk in game number 3, and he's going to seal the deal.